So, yes, it's going to be a long one, isn't it? Although I think much better than previous years. But yeah, it's just that kind of 6 monthly roundabouts thing that I do, which is, you know, what I've had coming in and stuff. Nothing goes out, so it would be quite pointless. Obviously, there's a nice mixture of, well, most, I'd say 80% I've bought. I don't know, you know, on those I look at the list. And some, of course, are gifted, which will, you know, I shall try to remember to say it in the video, but it'll definitely be in the comments and stuff. Because, you know, transparency costs nothing. I'm not an influencer, I don't need to randomly lie for no apparent reason or forget. And there's also some that are giveaway prizes, which is very unlikely for me, but I think there's a couple in there. It's not to boast, it's to kind of document what I've had coming in and stuff. But again, a bit for myself, because it kind of shows the way my tastes have been kind of waving, and what I've moved into and what I've been enjoying. And you know, I'll be honest, there might be some in there that, you know, a blind bought that I didn't end up loving. I don't think so. Anyway, this may jump about a bit because it's probably going to be long, so yeah. So yeah, let's start with probably the house I bought the most from, to nobody's surprise, and Amouage. Let's do it all in one section, and I'll probably timestamp a little bit. So, of course, one I bought that was on my wish list, the first Amouage from the so-called female range that I ever smelt was Interlude, and this kind of blew me away. Found this for a very nice bargain on eBay. But basically, Interlude Woman is hard to describe actually. It's lots of kind of dark fruits, dark flowers, woods. You get a weird kiwi in there, there's some incense. It is kind of a clash of lots of things, and that's kind of what it's supposed to be. It's what it's aiming to be. Well, somehow it all creates a harmony. Well, Charlie, yes, Interlude Woman. Yeah, it's a mixture of kind of dark fruits, dark kind of spices and resins, and it does, that darkness kind of makes it go with Interlude Man, if you get what I mean. Especially that kind of dark resinous base. There's a bit of smokiness in that. So I'll try and keep these brief. That's Interlude Woman. Next is Amouage Fate. This was one that I sampled and fell in love with. May have mentioned it last time, who knows. But went straight to the top of the old wish list. This is a masterpiece. So is Interlude Woman, to be fair, but Fate Woman, well, sorry, I do feel like I'm going to faint. Fate Woman is like a classic floral, you know, maybe something I got from the 80s. It nods its head to cocoa and opium and things like that. It's kind of spicy floral. But one of the main features, one of the things I fell in love with the most, although I love that type of thing, is the Narcissus. Is pretty much a main note through it. It's gorgeous. So it's got them kind of 80s style florals, not sharp or hairspray like. A little bit of kind of... it's got more dirtiness than a modern Chanel Cocoa, but it, you know, the castoreum and what have you, it's not really a major player. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It's Amouage, it's got incensey notes, and it's got a golden feel, and so yeah, that's Fate, which I got for a damn good bargain considering it's scandalously discontinued. Then another masterpiece, possibly the most expensive fragrance I own retail. Didn't get it for this, but I think it's £450 to £500, isn't it? Whew, no chance. So I did wait for it to go cheaper. I mean, it was still over my limit, I'll put it that way. And that's Opus 13 Silver Oud, which again I'd sampled. This is going to be a common theme with most of the things I've bought. I'd sampled and fell absolutely head over heels in love with. This wears a little different to my sample. What seems to be missing from it, in comparison with a sample, is it lacks that grrr in the kind of opening. There's a really strong castoreum note, which is kind of a bit, you know, it's really quite mucky, to be fair, and it's and then you've got the oud in there too. But I think the oud always is a kind of more woody, silky kind of feel through it. And I always say there isn't, but there must be some iris in there, and that kind of silver birch, and a very hefty amount of smokiness. That for me is the magic. I love the smoky richness of it. And then it kind of dries down to be like it's more on that side of a kind of sweeter, you know, kind of vanillic. There is vanilla in it, kind of oud. Again, the sample wasn't quite like this. I do love it. I mean, it's 100ml. You think you'd never get through it. I think I have, to be honest with you, because the weather hasn't warmed up at all. I have been rinsing it. So yeah, so that's Amouage Silver Oud. And then we'll definitely put these two together, because I keep, you know, I'm going to be talking forever. I was lucky enough to find some proper travel sizes in them weird cute little bottles, not the modern ones, the old ones. And from them I got Jubilation 25 Woman. Oh, this is a mucky 80s floral as well. The castoreum and civet do kind of push through it, and it's got that very vintage leaning floral feel again. Obviously there's the resinousness there and the stuff. There are spices and whatnot in this with the resins and the Jubilation Man is more spicy and patchouli and a little bit drier. There's a fruitiness in that. Jubilation Woman, it's more about the florals, and it's just very, oh, I love it. It's definitely one where I'd say this is one you must sample first. It can be, you know, people have smelt this on me and gone, this is a bit dirty. I wouldn't say that, I like it, but yeah. And then the other one was Lyric Woman, and Lyric Woman is basically it's roses and fruit. So whereas the man is the man's is kind of a soapy clean. Oh god, I think I prefer the man's, to be honest with you. But I saw this one is a soapy clean, incensey, a little bit smoky rose with lots of spices and things. It's delightful. The woman's, which I got, is kind of, it has the fruits kind of amped up, has a little bit of an indolic feel through it like Jubilation. But what I'd say about the woman's is the man's I prefer, but the woman's is far more interesting. It goes round and, you know, it's an amouage, it goes round and round in layers and changes quite a lot. You get a lot of sharpness in the beginning, and then the fruits get kind of more juicy and sweeter and voluptuous, and the rose is there. Kind of that switches round from being quite a bright, not overly sharp, kind of greener rose to a big full-blooded poofy rose, and that is, it's exceptionally nice. I have spoken about these, so none of these from this amouage section, oh no, I've got two more kind of, were blind buys. Okay, I may as well put the other travel sizes in, let's be honest, because they weren't, one was a very good bargain, one was a little bit more expensive. But the little Deer mini, you know, the little square bottles, Deer, I'm obviously looking out for a big bottle of that. That was beautiful. That's a kind of powdery 80s 90s floral. It's soft, it's gentle, it's musky, it's comforting, it's enveloping, it's got that kind of anti-hug vibes about it. you know, she'd come and give you a hug and she'd be smelling some sort of perfume of that era, if you're our age. I mean, I suppose you could still get a hug from your auntie if you're in your 40s back then, but you know what I mean. And the other one, the other little mini I got was Ubar. Of course I did. Yes, it was a little bit more expensive, but Ubar is discontinued because, frankly, the Amouage have lost their way, haven't they? The moment of insanity. And again, you may notice a pattern with quite a lot of these Amouages I pick up. Kind of vintage floral leaning one again. This one's more spicy though, and drier, but it's got a richness in there from, again, the resins. This one kind of glows more. It's more of a kind of golden, dry, but not overly dry. It's hard to describe, but that's Ubar. I'm trying to be brief. Again, there will be proper long reviews of all of these somewhere. If not on my Instagram, I'm bound to have mentioned them in my videos. So yeah, Ubar, and that's it for Amouage. Obviously I will, you know, I'll cut this off in May and we've still got a week left. I don't foresee myself getting an Amouage before then, so yeah. Next is my second most expensive blind buy ever. Yes, it was a blind buy, and that's Viole Nere from Fusciuni. This is Violette done in a magical way. Again, I've spoken about it, I won't go into too much, but it's this transition from spring to winter, from winter to spring even, which we seem to be stuck in now for the last 3 months, where it's frosty and it's cold. You could almost smell that cold, freezing earth, and through the orris and stuff, and then the violet starts to grow through with a little bit of sweetness. The violet leaf adds some sort of greenness there. There are other greener notes in there, and it all comes together, and it creates this kind of beautiful blossoming violet representing the blossoming of spring. It's gorgeous. If you like a drier orris, you'll love this. Although thankfully it sweetens up for me, because I'm not the biggest fan of the clay orris. That scared me to death when I smelt the opening, but it does warm up and grow. Oh, it's so good. And then the sweeter violet flower comes through, and again, don't worry, the violet flower is powdery and it is kind of sweet, but it's naturally sweet. It's not a big, you know, Parma violet thing, and you get that feeling. So if you're a bit off put by violet flower, I'd say this is a good starter for it. So anyway, that's Viole Nere from Fusciuni. And then two from my good friend Lizzie-Bet. One was a gift for Christmas or something like that, and that's Nikolai's Violette in Love, or Violet in Love. This is another violet, but this is a fresh, happy one. This has got a little bit more of a fruity feeling in it. It's more vibrant. It's not a big powder puff bomb either. It's like, again, like the Fusciuni one, I suppose, kind of spring florals. The violet's there. It's kind of airy. I get a little bit of a kind of watery stream feel from it as well. A little bit fruity. It's just a very happy, joyous, magnificent violet, really. Again, if you're not the biggest lover of violet flower fragrances, this one will be a good one to just give a try. It's very lovely. So that's Violet in Love from Nikolai Parfums. Next in the Lizzie section, I buy quite a lot off Lizzie. She's like my supplier of very blingy niche fragrances, and the one that I bought off her in this little section, maybe the only one I can see, is Bitter Peach from Tom Ford. Who doesn't love Bitter Peach from Tom Ford? It's basically peach, isn't it? Where there's Davana and I think there's Osmanthus in there, emphasising that kind of fruity feel. For me, it's kind of it's juicy. There's a little bit of greenness, a little bit of sharpness about it, but it's more like a peach honey. A good way of describing it. And I think the peach honey kind of relates to the name. Look it up. So yeah, and it's very enjoyable. It's not one that changes or transforms too much in the wear. It's just a very pleasant, for me, happy, easy fragrance. So that's Tom Ford's Bitter Peach. Now next, this little Ormonde Jayne section. I'm going to be not talk too much, otherwise I'll be on here for hours. They were all gifted to me. All but one are travel sizes as well, just for me to kind of try out the brand, I think. I don't know why. I mean, to be fair, they did just ask for private feedback. They didn't ask me. I know that's always implied, but they didn't actually ask me for anything like that. And you know, I'm kind of not the influencey of it. But anyway, so Montabaco, if that's how you say it, was travel size. Lovely. We know this kind of airy tobacco. There's a lot of ISOE super in it. Again, I can't smell that, so I couldn't really tell you. But it does have a kind of molecular feel, but it's not irritating or anything like that. That's just what it is, which gives it this kind of richness. And obviously there's this kind of golder, drier tobacco in there. That next, Montabaco. Is it Verde? I've only wrote V here, which is a kind of Italian one. It's got a lot more citrus, and more of a little bit of a more aromatic feel. It's like an Italian kind of tobacco one, obviously. So next is Babylonia. Again, another travel size. This one to me is lovely. Kind of blue floral, actually. It's quite a floral one, but yeah, more that colour of florals. It's kind of a sweet, summery floral. Some fruits in there. I think there's some berries and things like this. It's all off the top of my head, memory. So I think I'm talking about the right one. And yeah, it's enjoyable. Definitely one I'll be pulling out more in the summer, just as a kind of easygoing floral. So that's Babylonia. And then we have Levant. This is an exceptionally popular one, isn't it? Very loved, actually. Resins and kind of, I think it's part of a collection, kind of based all around the spice roots, Silk Road. You know what I mean. And this is very much irisy. It's a little bit sharp on me sometimes and that, but it's one I can see why people love it. And again, it's one of these good ones for the warmer weather. Then we have Muscat, which is a very lovely one as well. I believe Muscat's the more rosy one. This is all, again, I've tried all these roughly at the same time and stuff. I believe it's rosy and spicy again, and again, really rather pleasant. I think it might have oud in it as well, or argowood and oud note or whatever. I think that was really nice. Then Arabesque, which is rose, is beautiful, spicy kind of rose. There's definitely oud in that one. It's not a rose oud, and there's a fruit in there. Is it blueberry or blackberry or something like that, which makes it kind of, oh, it's really nice, kind of a fruity one along that kind of theme. Very nice. And finally is the full bottle I own, is Noir of Oud. Again, not going to go too much into it, so we're not here for 7 hours, but Noir of Oud was the one I fell in love with. Again, like I say, all these were gifted. It's, to me, my friend used to go to Pakistan a lot to go see her family and stuff, and she'd always bring me stuff back, because, you know, I'd ask, can you bring me some exciting food things or spices or whatever back? And she used to bring these little breath sweets, which were mixed with things like anise, I think there might have been cumin in there, all these, you know, fennel, all these kind of fresh spicy seeds, and that's what I get a lot from Noir Oud. There's obviously woods and florals in there. I'm not sure which florals, but it's ultimately, for me, it's all about the spices, and it's quite gorgeous. Again, one I have been wearing the heck out of. So that's Noir Oud, and that concludes the Ormonde Jayne section. Next is Joe Malone Pomegranate Noir. This wasn't gifted, but it wasn't, I didn't pay for it either. It was just some offer, and of course I snapped it up. And this one, it's maybe 3 a push that I like. This one I like the most. I know it's kind of it does have a lot of molecular stuff going on, but it's as the name suggests, well, not really, it's kind of blackberry. Is it blackberry? Allegedly pomegranate, and there's woods and what have you go in it, but it smells a bit like almost even a little bit grapey, maybe like a blackberry pie or a blackberry juice. Can you smell pomegranate? What does pomegranate smell like in perfume? Maybe a bit. Maybe there's a little bit of a sharper fruitiness in there, but it's very warm and it's very musky. It's just very nice. It's very enjoyable. That dark fruitiness is something that, obviously, as we can see, kind of a theme here, I really do love. So that's a Pomegranate Noir from Joe Malone. Next, from 4160 Tuesdays and Claire Smurfy Girly. I got it with the Kickstarter thing, so I saved a few pennies there, but obviously it's Claire, so I wanted to get this and I wanted to support Claire. This one, well, I'll briefly go through the story. Me and Lizzie, kind of, as we know, as you've seen in some of her collection of bought in here and that, we don't have the same taste, but sometimes we can have a similar taste. We both decided when we were going to buy the bottles, one of us will get the EDT and one of us will get the EDP. For some reason Lizzie went for the EDT and so I went for the EDP. Well, immediately I think we both said we're going to prefer this the other way around, because we both know our tastes, and it turned out we did. She loves EDP. I really enjoy and love the EDT. Anyway, the EDT is opens with this kind of locket throat lozenge kind of feel, like kind of honeyed and lemon sweet it is, and I think that comes from the bergamot. Really nice. And then you kind of get this, it goes through stages. Obviously the iris and the violet grow through it, and it becomes, ultimately the two stories are like an 80s 90s sweet shop where you buy these little chocolate cigarettes, and you can also smell the bottom of an empty actual cigarette box in it, which is this lovely smell of dry tobacco. We've all sniffed one, we all know, with the chocolate cigarettes and the kind of candies from the shop, but it's not candy, it's not nothing like, it's not like a bag of sweets, don't ever get me wrong with that. It's that kind of feel of the shop, and then it also kind of becomes a kind of flapper girl thing, where it's like got that little bit of cigarette smoke in the air with the iris and the violet and the kind of sweetness of that. It's an interesting kind of complex fragrance, actually. Very nice. Like I say, love the opening so much. So that's Hush Hush from 4160 Tuesdays and Claire Smurfy Girly. Next is from Parfumeur 603. This was gifted to me to try. This is ultimately a leather, dark, charred, smoky leather, but with greenness. It's not a green leather, like, you know, that kind of marijuana kind of a thing, which I wouldn't know what it smells like or anything, but it's not like that. It's leather and green, which comes from the violet leaf, and there's kind of a warm resinousness in there. It's very big, actually. And it's very nice and enjoyable. I think there's a tonka in there as well, which kind of gives it a warm, rich base. These fragrances, I think, generally are for layering, but I think this on its own it's really nice. So that's Parfumeur 603. Of course, that one was gifted. I think I said that. Next, this was kindly gifted to me from Hal of Hove. It's because I bought the samples. Believe I just really like this one, and she's really lovely. I've also bought loads of incense from her. I don't know why excuse it, but KIS, keeping it simple, which is, it's really got to be quick to explain it. It's a fresh, airy, easygoing spring oud. It's quite magnificent. It's just like it's a specific type of oud. It is real oud, but it has a very fresh, kind of woody, vibrant feeling. It's a vibrant oud. Yes, they do exist, and it's really enjoyable. And like it says, really simple. It's not massive or in your face. It's just this feel good fragrance, and that's what I'd say about the brand, full stop. They are feel good, happy, airy fragrances. So that's keeping it simple from Hal of Hove. Next is two little section again, both gifted from Kajal, which is that's a very popular brand. I think we all know it. They make well, you can't really define them as one sort of fragrances. They have some kind of nice, sweeter, fruitier, kind of more traditionally Middle Eastern kind of leaning things, and also they have some kind of a kind of fresh collection, like a more kind of classic collection. First, we'll talk about Kajal III, which fits in that fresher kind of thing. To me, it's Fanta. Basically, it's this lovely, vibrant orange, musky, the ambroxan kind of, smell similar DNA, kind of walks it out, and it does just smell like you've just opened a can of fizzy, sweet, vibrant Fanta. It's an orange I like. In there, there's a lot more, isn't there? There is a kind of lovely, proper woody base. I think there's some florals in there as well, but the gist to me, if I was describing it to someone, is it's like Fanta, but in a perfumey way. It's not like you've spilt a can of Fanta over it. It's not sugary or saccharine or syrupy and too much. It's fresh, it's happy, lovely fragrance. So that's Kajal III. And the other one from Kajal is their Lamar Caviar. Now, if you've tried Lamar, probably their most famous of all, maybe, which is a kind of rich, goldeny, reddy, berries, rose, ambers. It's luxurious and voluptuous and what have you. Now the caviar is made with a new technology. It's not an advert, I don't know anything about it, but the kind of little pearls, which are like caviar, obviously. And they kind of, it's got no alcohol in it, so it's like a different way of doing it. Now, the best way I could describe this one is it's like Lamar, obviously, but it feels a bit fresher, a bit breezier, not less strong. By the way, I need to point that out. It doesn't mean it's not as strong. What really struck me about this, if I'm being honest, is it performs exactly like a perfume. If you sprayed it on me, I wouldn't know it wasn't an alcohol-based perfume. Let's just put it that way. I'm not expert enough anyway, but you always kind of expect them not to really be like a perfume, don't you? You kind of expect them to be a bit, just not like a perfume. This is like a perfume, and it's really gorgeous. It's all them same things in it. Maybe the cardamom sparkles a bit more. Am I completely lost? And it's just Lamar, but kind of fresher and wears a bit nicer. And I am going to fall off the edge of a cliff here, aren't I've got lost. So that's Lamar from Kajal. Next was a gift from my other great friend for my Christmas present. The new Kayalis came out, didn't they? All the Oud ones, which, you know, in theory I'd like. But the one that caught my eye was the one everyone was saying, oh, I just don't like this one. It's just... which basically probably meant it wasn't a super sweet bomb. And that's Tobacco Oud, whatever it's called. Which is kind of, it has that kind of oud feel in there. It's obviously got a lot of tobacco, kind of more of the darker side of it. It's very resinous actually, and there is a sweetness running through it. It's not, you know, a sugary saccharine sweetness. It's very loud actually. Just a pleasant, like the name suggests. Some people say it smells like tobacco vanille. No, no, but I mean, if that's the only other tobacco scent you've ever smelled, I suppose you can maybe make a comparison. Just pleasant. I mean, I enjoy it. I need to try the others, but I would suspect it'd be my favourite from them. So that's Kayali's Tobacco Oud. Oh, I don't think I mentioned who it was from, which was a Christmas present from Claire. So next is a giveaway win from Maria, the Scented Fawn, who is, just check her out. She's fantastic on YouTube. Somebody who definitely should get more attention, but yeah, she basically tells the most magical stories along with the fragrances. She's fantastic. Anyway, what I won from her was a Juliette as a gun one from the Posh range, and it is White Spirit. Thankfully, I mean, me and Juliette as a gun do not get on, let's put it that way, but this one is actually lovely. It's like, obviously they're all molecular, but the molecular materials used in this do not give you a headache. They're not screechy brain melting ones. I actually quite like this. It's obviously more special because it comes from Maria, and it's, you know, as a giveaway win, it's all luck, but it's kind of a big deal to come from Greece and stuff, from someone you kind of admire. But it's basically just musky white florals. At the end of the day, to me, it's just basically like a snuggly cardigan from the 80s, and clean hair and stuff. It's lovely, very pleasant. Like I say, it's not sharp or brain melty, which is always a plus. So that's White Spirit from Juliette as a gun. Now we move into the kind of more purely indie section. Obviously, you know me, it's my favourite kind of thing. So first up is QH from Redolescent. This will not be the only one I own from them, I'm going to say that, and I wish I bought a big bottle actually, but this one is based around the Queen of Hearts, you know, the character from Alice in Wonderland, and it's obviously, it's going to be rose, isn't it? It's rose, kind of dark fruits. It's got this, is it cumin? It's got a naughty human kind of loveliness about it in there, which just makes it magnificent. It makes it a very dark and almost dangerous, seductive rose. It's really good. I've never really smelt a rose quite like it. Really enjoy it. So that's QH from Redolescent. Next, two from the same house, and two I miraculously won in giveaways. First up is Lunar Dust, that I won from Claire Smurfy Girlie's Gaza Red Cross giveaway, which was like a raffle, and there were lots of prizes. So I got Lunar Dust, from Mabelle O Rama, sorry. And this one is, it's actually what I'm wearing today. It's more of a molecular iris, if you like. It's a way of describing it, but it's kind of, does make you think of a kind of silvery grey dust, and the molecular kind of feel, it'll be some form of ambroxan. gently done. Gently, which just gives it this kind of airy, dusty feel. And the iris, or iris oris, whatever itself, has the kind of, it's that white silky iris. So you definitely do get the colour and the kind of feel of a bit of, I know there's no wind on the moon, kind of dust blowing all around you, and it's really calming and celestial. There you go. There's a word to match it. Really enjoy it. There will be, again, so much more information about these everywhere. So that's Lunar Dust from Mabelle O Rama. So next is the other one I miraculously won in a giveaway somehow. And this one was, it sold out straight away because I'd smelt a sample of this and I wanted to buy it and I wanted to own it. But it went, and this is the newer version. It's an XIII version actually. Forbidden Bloom, also from Mabelle O Rama, obviously. And this is your beachy one without being beachy. It's kind of a proper perfume. It's mature and it's grown up. It's these dark, seductive fruits. It does somehow feel like the sea, but it's not mineral or anything like that. And it's got frangipani, like big voluptuous petals and flowers in there, which work really nicely with the dark fruits and the musks. And it's heavenly. It's a very me floral, and I weirdly like them beachy ones. I don't know why, but this one, with it taking it to nighttime beachy and it being kind of cheeky and a little bit, you know, seductive and what have you, I like it more. The pear and the peach are kind of the main fruits in it. This one feels a bit more peachy to me, but it's really nice. So that's Forbidden Bloom from Mabelle O Rama. Next is two from Olfactive O, and first up is, we'll go with the most recent release, that's Citrus, which is actually a really good fragrance. Wouldn't think it was for me, it was a blind buy because, you know, I'm crazy like that. And no, I know that something coming from Olfactive O is always going to be something I really enjoy. The only one I really massively struggled with was Skin, which you'd think, being all about musks and stuff, would be the one I'd love, but it wasn't, alas. Anyway, this is Citrus, which is like these zesty citrus peels. It's got a real kind of fresh sharpness about there. There's some champagne going through it, gin maybe. It's very fresh and happy, and again zesty. It's a little bit of a also creamy feel, which kind of tempers it. Maybe coming from woods or something like that, but it's a very easy citrus, and again, I know this doesn't really matter to folks, but it lasts. The citrus zest and freshness does go through it all, and it's just very happy and uplifting. And it obviously it's a very special one to Olivia, who is the brand director too, which makes it, you know, even more kind of enjoyable to wear. So that's Citrus. And the other one I bought was the first I'd ever sniffed from Olfactive O. That's Amber, which I'd won samples in a giveaway with Nikolai, the sniff, and we got to sniff it together, obviously separate samples, we don't live next door. And it was that was a special experience for me. First time kind of doing something with Nikolai, who is fantastic. And the fragrance itself is kind of an ambery rose. You know, it's got a lovely sweetness in there. It's got a lovely grainy musk, patchouli, vanilla, spices, and it all comes together really kind of beautifully and well. I really enjoy that one. So that's Amber from Olfactive O. And almost finally, because yeah, there's one more giveaway win after these, which yeah, I've had a bumper few months, haven't I? Anyway, let me get up this hill. Is two from One Way Bridge, and first is was an insane blind buy. But again, I know Elise well enough to know there's only one fragrance again I've struggled with, and that was the rose one. This one, Amouage, is kind of weird. It's not a blind buy one, but you know, if you trust a perfumer and you know your own tastes, it's basically grape and a dirty musk. It's about like wine making, if you like, in Italy. It's what it was influenced by, and that kind of sweaty experience. The musks are a lot. If you don't like a kind of naughty, dirty musk, it's probably not for you. It's very human smelling, very kind of sweat, but some way mixing with the grape and the other notes, it gives it this really kind of carnal, kind of sexy feel, if you like. It's lovely. Never smelt anything like it. And there aren't really many grape perfumes, are there? But it's really nice. That's Amouage. And then again, one of the best I've smelt for some time. It's up there in my, if we were to do a top 10 of what I've smelt recently. Pitching Woo. Obviously also from One Way Bridge. This one is hard to describe actually. It opens up like an ice cream and humbug sweet. It's kind of got this minty toffee feel, and then as it develops, it's weird. It lightens up. Don't get me wrong, this is not overly gourmand, even though I'm describing it as a straight up gourmand. It actually does start to smell like a pistachio gelato to me. There's a certain nuttiness in it. There's a fruity hint of peach in there as well. But it actually smells like a float, like ice cream on some pop, as we call it here, soda, as I believe people across the pond call it. And it works. It's fresh at the same time as being like ice cream, but it's not a heavy, stodgy, sickly thing. It's somehow perfumey. It's one you'd have to smell it. I absolutely bloody love it, and it was the first and nearest to a gourmand Elise had ever done, and of course she'd done it in her own crazy, wonderful way. So that's Pitching Woo. And finally was a giveaway win from Manus Garricanis. Sorry if I've butchered your name there. And it's called Quintessence. I'd seen a few of these about. There's the odd video on YouTube and stuff. And again, we're going back to the sniff. Nikolai had done a review on this one actually. I was allowed to choose any bottle I wanted from the giveaway. So I went for this, and because Nikolai spoke quite highly of it. I don't know it well enough to give much of a synopsis. The cloves, a kind of almost cherry feel about it, and tobacco. I don't think any of them are listed, so there you go. that's my great kind of feeling of it so far. It's not like a cherry tobacco, but it has maybe there's cinnamon in it as well. It has that kind of almost feel, but it's very ambery. It's not, you're not looking at, you know, pure Havana or that vile Naxos or whatever here. This is sweet, but there's a lot of kind of woody, musky, kind of spicy feel about it. It's really nice. But again, I don't know it well enough, but you know, it's in this time period, so I thought I'd just put it on. I've only wore it once, so I can't tell you much about it. So that's from Manos Garricanis, and that's Quintessence. So yeah, there's just another couple to kind of add on at the end of this. First up, I don't have much to say about them generally, because this one's very new. I blind bought it, saw it on eBay for quite a bargain really, and it's from Malbron, and it's called Bagheera. Malbron is part of the Mask Milano kind of, you know, that little kind of setup thing they've got with Milano Fragranzi and that. Anyway, Bagheera is, I went for it because it's a violet scent, a dark violet scent. And it's this kind of mixture of, these are only first impressions, of the more molecular. It's got that molecular iris thing about it, and it's got maybe a bit of cashmere in or something, but it all kind of comes together really nice actually. It is very epic. It's quite strong and it lasts for about 73 years. Not really, but the synthetics do last on the skin a long time. It's actually really nice. I wasn't sure at first. But yes, I like it. It's like a dark violet. It's not by any means the same as Map of the Heart's Purple Heart, but it's kind of the most similar thing to it I think I can compare it to. It's obviously not smoky, but it does have an animalic grr, and it's dark. So yeah, that's Bagheera from Marlborough. I also, for my birthday, treated myself to an April Aromatics one, and that was Wild Summer Crush. I mean, like I said, I was always going to get this one, wasn't I? It's this sweet, vibrant, juicy, summer, dark, kind of red grapefruit. It's vibrant, it's juicy, it's kind of sweet. It's very summery. I'm getting eaten by midges which are stalking me, and it's got like this kind of almost warm resinousness in there. There are some floral notes as well, but it is mainly all about the grapefruit. There's also sometimes, I mean, somebody else pointed this out to me, there's a little growl in there, maybe some kind of indulge from some of the florals. It's nothing spectacular, or you know, don't be put off it. It's just a beautiful summer fragrance really. It's very pleasant, very nice, and it's one I've wanted for a long time now, and I deserved a little birthday treat. So yeah, and that I'm sure I've done a conclusion to this already, but that is all of them now. So yeah, that's what I've bought between October-ish, is it, and kind of end of April. Do you know, I think it might have been earlier than October. Could even have been last summer, which means I've done exceptionally well. I think I've done better than most years actually. As you can see, I mean, I don't read this I don't care. There's less PR than there was last time, but again, that's not what I'm in this for, which has kind of shortened it. And there's a plethora of replacing that PR with bloody giveaway wins, which is unlike me. And but actually buying, I think, has reduced significantly. However, I'm saying that buying has reduced significantly. I don't know if people could kind of notice there. The significantly less I've bought has cost significantly more. There's two there that are not off eBay that were the most expensive. Obviously that's how I normally buy second hand, but there's two you couldn't get for love nor money off things like that, so we're full-ish retail price. Obviously one of them kind of a little bit less than half the price, but my god, it was too expensive to buy that. But yeah, I've obviously become better at buying, I think. Not many blind buys, were there any? No, lots of sampling, which kind of shows again that that's a really important thing to do, is sample. It means you spend less, waste less, and what have you. And sampling is my favourite thing. I mean, I haven't in that video mentioned the probably £200-300 I've spent on discovery kits and such like. But they how much money have they actually saved me? Vast amounts. And obviously we swap samples a lot amongst us and things like that, so that's really kind of helped. I mean, what about you? How's your buying been this year? Have you kind of gone more focused, more sensible buys, even though you might be spending technically more for less? It's been more focused and less waste. Still other Viole questions I need to ask. Is there anything you're surprised that wasn't there? There's some very big geese up there. Hang on, can we get them? Scary bastards, look at them. They're just waiting to come and murder me. So yeah, that's the end of that video. Thanks for watching. I know these are quite tedious, probably for people, but it's good for myself, good for my own sanity. So thanks folks, bye.